is
chronicling COVID quarantine.
Right. So, Dave, where are you at this morning? We know you had been at the Wyndham. Are they moving you?
No, I think it was at Days Inn.
Days Inn?
Yeah,
Okay.
Days Inn. Did you get moved?
Yes, we did.
You did? Okay. So you're now where?
We're presently at Pacific Star.
When did you move?
They informed us that we would start vacating our last hotel at 8 p.m. last night, shortly after dinner. So they started moving us in groups, small groups. But this is like a bad sci-fi flick.
Just keeps getting worse.
Putting us in the cover of darkness, and and we were just getting settled in. I was really comfortable there, and trying to move us to another place, and I was very apprehensive about moving to begin with, because then we were going to commingle us again with each other.
Right, Dave.
Do you know who?
I'm sorry?
Dave, so I know you're not a doctor, but the way they're moving you, are you concerned at all that there may have been exposure from people who haven't been tested? I mean, you guys are kind of flying blind. Are you getting tested, first of all?
No one's been tested that I know of. They're just doing temperature checks.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been very concerned from the start, from the way they bunched us together. They've tried to mitigate that with smaller groups, the movement and practicing social distance better, as we go through the process. One of the concerns I had here that was brought up at our old hotel by someone who's, I guess, a health professional, is the aircon ventilation system. I was just looking at this thing last night, and I think if all these rooms are hooked up in this ventilation system, there might be chances of maybe people getting contaminated through the aircon vent. I mean, at the other hotel, I was satisfied because each room had a freestanding aircon inside, so chances of that was 0. But I'm not sure about this hotel. They don't have freestanding aircons in each room.
How many? Was it just quarantine passengers from Days Inn that were moved, or are you aware if all the other approved quarantine sites were moved there too?
It was us and Wyndham, because I believe the 2 hotels there were taken up by one flight, so they wanted to consolidate the one flight here.
So you're not aware if the quarantine passengers that are being quarantined at Santa Fe were being moved to?
No, I'm not aware of that being moved here.
So were all of you guys moved to Pacific Star? Is there anyone left at the Days Inn?
To my knowledge, I'm not sure about that. I believe we all left. Everyone that was quarantined there from the flight left, were removed.
Did they tell you why? I'm sorry, did I miss that? Did they tell you why we need to move you to another hotel?
They wanted to consolidate everyone from one flight here. It'd be easier for them to control and for security purposes.
Okay, for security purposes.
Right.
Because the mentality. It's really scary to think I was in the elevator, down by the elevator, waiting last night to go downstairs to get my suitcase, and they wanted to come down single file or one at a time. And there's an individual out there who was apparently talking to his girlfriend on the phone or whoever it was, but talking about trying to sneak her into the hotel from the basement. I mean, with that kind of mentality, dude, you're an idiot. What are you trying to do? Really, what are you trying to do? If anyone was infected and she was here and then she snuck back home and then she got it and spread it, come on, guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wake that up, man. This is serious.
Yeah.
This thing is like, again, it's in its infancy stages, and I pray to God that the numbers don't jump too drastically. But you don't see that jump right now because there's not a lot of testing going on. And the more more testing they do, the more positive they're going to find.
Dave, how many are you able to tell us? How many total? Any ballpark, any guesstimate of how many? Are we talking a couple hundred? We're just hearing different numbers.
At the most, I'm not sure. I mean, you figure there's three floors at the hotel I was at, and maybe 20 rooms per floor. That's just one hotel. So 20 times 3, that's 60 just at our hotel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What's the sentiment of people that you were able to talk to there? How are they feeling about the process and thus far and how you guys have been treated?
Well, concerned with the people I've been in contact with is prior to us being moved, they sent us a document for us to sign that was a voluntary quarantine, but none of us were voluntary.
So did you guys sign that form, Dave, or what?
I didn't sign any form.
Say again?
I didn't sign any form. I still have the original document that was a involuntary quarantine, and that's still the case with me. I mean, I'm not fighting the system, but I'm not signing something that they gave us just to say, "Hey, can you please sign this?" No, because it didn't change.
Right. So when you came in, you signed an emergency involuntary detention order.
I didn't sign anything.
Oh, okay. So they gave you that document that said emergency involuntary detention order, and then later on yesterday, before this official move, you received a voluntary quarantine letter.
It brought to my attention that they put a pamphlet outside our door, and and the documents inside was some documents stating that it was voluntary.
Voluntary. I
Right.
see.
So it went from involuntary to voluntary, but the whole time you're saying it's been involuntary.
Yeah. I mean,
It kind of looks like they're trying to cover their dogging, maybe legally. That's what I'm guessing.
But I mean, that to me, that point is moot. I'm here. I got how many more days left? We're all here in this. The people I spoke to were just dumbfounded. That's what are you trying to do? We're still in the same situation. Nothing's changed. We're not fighting the system, but they're trying to coerce us into signing a document that's.
Are people signing it, Dave?
Not the people I spoke to. One of my friends here said that they told him he has to sign it before he leaves. I said, if you don't feel comfortable signing it, don't sign it. Mm-hmm. Because the situation didn't change. I mean, that original document they gave us, to me, it's still in effect.
I think we got probably about 200 lawyers salivating listening to this phone call right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's public law that was stated on there. Had someone do some research into that, and it basically states that I guess they do have the authority to do this in a time of crisis.
Mm-hmm. Well, during the press conference yesterday, Linda did mention something, but I couldn't ask a question for whatever reasons. She noted during that press conference, and this is also from Crystal Pacos and Augustine when I talked to her yesterday about the information we received about quarantine passengers being moved, and she said that Linda will soon be appearing before the court to extend the quarantine order. I'm told that prior to her appearance, individuals must reassert their status, which is interesting because the statuses are different based on the documents that we have seen.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Well,
it means that when you came in, you were provided a document that said emergency involuntary quarantine, and then you were provided another document outside your door that said voluntary quarantine acknowledgement. I think that's kind of what it means. But,
we'll
have to wait for the press conference.
What I'm hearing it from different people who are involved with this is that they gave out the wrong documents. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. I mean, but outside looking in, it kind of looks like somebody messed up, and
Well, what else is new? Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
So hey, Dave, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll check in with you later for your another chronicle.
You guys continue to do what you do and get the word out. Please stay home. And like I said, that guy.
Stay home.
If you have that type of thinking of that same guy, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
It's nothing to joke with.
Just think about it, guy. You're gonna when you finally see your chick after a quarantine, it's gonna be so good. It's like Lent. You gave up rice for Lent. You don't eat rice for Lent. You just wait.
Day, Christopher.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
All right.
Okay,
Take care.
Okay. 9:55. What? It's still Lent. It's still Lent out here.
We wanted to push out the information though about what Kadu is doing, right?
Right. Yeah. So what is Kadu doing?
I don't know. You're the one who told me. Come on
Okay.
now.
Gosh. It's just in my
Quickly.
phone.
Come on.